is here again. Welcome to the 13th session of our online class for the standard of 6 and for the subject of science. Okay, so in the 12th session you read about the changes around us. Okay, so in that you saw the two types of changes. One is the reversible changes and one is the non-reversible changes. The reversible changes are just a temporary change where you can get back the original product or the substance or the materials. The property will remain the same. But in non-reversible changes, the changes which take place will be permanent. It will not have been, you will not be able to get back the original property of that particular substance or the product. But in the non-reversible changes, the entire property changes from one form to the other form. So sometimes a new substance is formed. So that only is called as non-reversible changes. So now we'll see in this session what are the other ways that things can change. How it can be changed. How the properties can be changed. Okay. See, now I have given here other ways to bring a change. Okay, so apart from the reversible and the non-reversible changes, what are the other ways you can find the changes that are taking place? Changes takes place on heating. So you have already read that during, that is when you heat water, the water changes into water vapor. So that is again a change. But this water vapor, when it is cooled, it comes back to the liquid water again. So again this is a reversible change. So over here not only the water, even some of the solids also can be heated, especially the iron. You have seen these bullock carts, okay? So they have got huge wheels, wooden wheels, and this wooden wheel, it will have an outer covering of a iron ring. So how do they fit this iron ring to the wooden wheel? So what they do is they heat the iron. So first after they make the wooden wheel, they take a measurement which is little lesser than the circumference. You know what is the meaning of circumference? The outer circle of the ring. So after that they take the measurement little lesser than that. Why? Because iron, when you heat it, it will expand. Expand means what? It will become big. So after they heat that iron ring, when it expands, they put it and fix it into the wooden wheel. So after the iron becomes cold, that is after cooling, it will contract. Contract means what? It will become the original size again. So that is the meaning of contract. Expanding is it will become big, contracting is it will become to the original size. So that is why they take a measurement which is little lesser than the original size of the ring, that is the circumference of the wheel. So that iron when heated it expands and when it is cooled it contracts. So that is one method how the changes are taking place. See? Example, the iron ring around the wheel, that is the wooden wheel which is used in the bullock carts, and you can see even the hand driven carts in olden days what the people were using, or you can see the jatkas where the horse drives the chariot and goes. So all that, for all that they need a wooden wheel with a iron ring on top of it. Iron tools which has wooden handle. So you might have seen in the building constructions, okay, where people are working, they use the hammers, they use the chisel, okay, then you might have seen they use the spears. So all this, the main item is made out of iron, but the handle to hold that and work, it is having the wooden handle. So how did they fix this wooden handle into the iron piece or the metal? So that is when they heat it, it expands, so they put the handle inside and they leave it. So when it becomes cold, it holds the handle tightly. So that is how the iron expands on heating and cools when and contracts when it is cooled. So iron expands on heating. It becomes big and contracts. It comes back to the original size it is cooled down. And then next I told you water. So if you take little water in a vessel, boil it and cover it with a lid. When you take the lid, turn it and see, you will find small droplets of water. These tiny droplets of water only, it is called as water vapor. And this water vapor, when you cool, tilt the lid, it will pour down like a normal liquid water. So from water vapor, it has changed to liquid water again. And the same water, if you take, pour it in a container, keep it in the freezer of your fridge, it will change into ice cube. The same ice cube, you take it, keep it out in a room temperature, it will turn back into normal water again. So all these changes which are taking place, all these are called as reversible changes. Why it is called as reversible changes? Because you are getting back the original product and the property remains the same. Okay, so now next, that is water. When it is heated, it changes into water vapor, and after cooling it changes into liquid water. But what happens? Only the quantity of the water will decrease. Why does it decrease? Because the water evaporates. So the quantity of the water in the vessel will decrease as you keep on heating. Keep water in freezer. So as I told you, take little water, put it in a container, keep it in the freezer, it will change into ice cubes. And these ice cubes, when you bring it out to the room temperature, they will again change back into water. So again, all these are examples of reversible changes. Okay, now next we'll go to see some of the non-reversible changes. Yes, children. Now, so long you saw about the reversible changes. So now you are going to see some more examples about non-reversible changes. Now for example, take a candle. Measure the candle, the length of the candle. After you measure, make a note of its length. Then fix the candle on a table or a stool or any flat surface. Burn the candle. Allow the candle to burn for at least 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, put off the candle flame. Now you take this candle, measure the length of it and see it would have got decreased. So now if you want this original length of the candle, what was there before it could burn, can you get it back? It is possible. That is, though it is a non-reversible change, this method of candle burning into wax, you can also change it into reversible change. How? Now whatever the candle has been burnt, the remains of the candle, the wax which is fallen down, everything you can collect everything together, put it in a pan, keep it on the stove and heat it up. So the candle wax will start to melt and it will become a liquid again. So whatever measurement you want, again you can pour it into the different containers and you can make back the candle. So though it is a non-reversible change, but still this non-reversible change can be made into reversible change. And this is possible only with the candle, not with many other substances. Okay, in other substances it is not possible. So a reversible change can be, a non-reversible change can be also made into reversible change. Now another example for non-reversible change, but this you cannot get back the original substance nor it cannot be changed into reversible substance, but you will get a new product out of it. See, like an incense stick. You know what is the meaning of incense stick? At home you might have seen mummy uses agarbatti. So that agarbatti only is called as the incense stick. So burn the agarbatti. So you burn the agarbatti and you keep it. After it burns properly, you put off the flame. And what can you see? You can see that the smoke is coming out from this incense sticks. Only the smoke you can see. You will get a beautiful or a nice fragrance you will get. So that is the smell. You will get a nice fragrance from the incense stick. The whole room will have a good fragrance after you burn the incense stick. stick. So now allow the incense stick to burn completely. After it burns completely, the smoke will vanish away into the air, but the smell will remain in the room for some time. And after it is burnt completely, what can you see? You can see that the stick which has been burning has completely changed into ash. So the incense stick is no more available over there. Once it burns completely, it changes completely the property and it produces a new product, that is the ash. So in non-reversible changes, a new material is produced or a new product is got. So in the incense stick, when you burn, the new product what you get is the ash. Now to burn the candle or to burn the incense stick, you need a matchstick. So when you burn a matchstick, after you burn the candle or the incense stick, you put off the flame in the matchstick and you throw it away. What can you see in that? The matchstick, it has burned itself and it has not produced any ash, but it will produce another new product, that is, it will produce a black color powder. So again, the matchstick, when it burns, it produces a new substance, that is the black powder. So these are some examples to show that the non-reversible changes. The non-reversible changes where the product, once it is completely, the changes has taken place, you will not get back the original product, but in fact it will give another new product. So now next we will see few more examples. Yes children. Now we will see when two substances mixes together. Okay, even then also the changes can take place. Okay, you have learned in the previous lesson about evaporation. So over here you take salt, dissolve it in water, and when the salt completely dissolves in water, it becomes a solution, that is, it becomes salt water. And this salt water, when you start heating it up, the water starts to evaporate. So here is the process of evaporation. So after all the water is being evaporated, in the bottom of the pan you can see the white crystals remains, that is the salt. So the salt is again got back from the water. What you have mixed, the water and the salt what you had already mixed and heated up, the water evaporates into the air and the crystals of salt remains in the pan. So this is again an example of reversible change. But here, this is a non-reversible change. That is, the milk turns into curds. So when it is in the form of milk, its property is entirely different. So with the help of milk, you can make all the other byproducts of milk. You can use milk for drinking, you can use milk for coffee, you can use milk for tea, you can use the same milk for making any of the sweets. But the same milk, when it changes into curds, it loses its properties. It gets the new properties, that is the properties of the curds. So you know the curd means it is more thick than the milk and it is sour in taste. So you have to add a little sugar or a little salt if you want to use it. But curds cannot be used in the preparation of sweets nor in the preparation of coffee or tea, because the curds property is entirely different. So this is a non-reversible change. So over here the changes can take place even by heating. That is, example, salt water or sugar water. By heating, not only that, even by the iron. The iron also expands on heating and cools when and contracts when it cools down. So by heating or by mixing, that is mixing some of the substances together. Now for example, you want to make some juice. So you have to mix water, maybe a lime juice. You can squeeze the lime juice in it. You can either add salt or sugar, mix it. But even if you heat it, you cannot get back the other products which you use for mixing together and making one solution. So again, this is a non-reversible change. But instead of that, you will get some other new substances. So in the non-reversible changes, except for the candle, the other changes which takes place are permanent and you will not get back the original product of the substance or the original property of the substance. So these are some of the examples which I have given you for the reversible and the non-reversible changes. So the changes around us can be grouped into two. One is reversible and one is non-reversible changes. So with this we come to the end of our lesson. So if you have any doubts, you can come and clarify your doubts. An assignment will be sent on the group. Thank you, children.